Jambavan, the son of Brahma, is the king of the bears in Hindu scriptures. In Treta Yuga, he assisted Rama, the seventh avatar of Vishnu, in his quest to save his wife Sita from the Rakshasa king Ravana. In Dwapara Yuga, Lord Krishna married Jambavan's daughter Jambathi in his quest to retrieve the stolen Simantaka jewel. Jambathi was not able to bear children for Krishna, unlike his other wives who bore many children. In the effort, she approached Krishna so that she is blessed with a son. Krishna went to sage Upamenyu's ashram in the Himalayas and upon his advice started to pray to Lord Shiva, performing extreme penance for 6 months. Pleased with his dedication, Lord Shiva appeared before him as Samba, the half-male, the half-female form of Shiva's Shakti, and asked him for a boon. Lord Krishna asked for a son for Jambathi. This was granted. Lord Shiva also said that this boy would be one of his 11 Rudras who are meant for destruction, and Lord Krishna accepted that. Samba grew up to look like Krishna and was as notorious and naughty much like Krishna was in his younger days. Laxmana, who was the daughter of Duryodhana, had come of age. Her father arranged her swayamvara and many princes came to win her hand. Samba had heard of Laxmana and wanted to marry her. He went to her swayamvara and abducted her. He defeated the Kuru Maharathis, who pursued him but was finally caught. He was arrested by the Kuru elders and thrown in prison. Laxmana's swayamvara was rearranged, but no other prince was willing to marry her, since it was considered that a woman abducted by another man belonged to that man. The princes were actually afraid of the Yadavas, who might attack them on Samba's behalf. Balarama, who was fond of his notorious nephew, went to Hastinapura to bail him out. The Kurus refused. Balarama became enraged and started smashing up the palace. Soon after Duryodhana apologized for their conduct, Balarama was pacified and ordered the Kurus to free Samba. Duryodhana then married his daughter off to Samba. Samba was very proud of his looks and his resemblance to his father. He used to fool his stepmothers and play pranks on them. One day he happened to tease sage Narada for his looks. The sage felt humiliated and decided to teach Samba a lesson. He lured Samba to the private bathing pool where his stepmothers were taking baths. Finding intrusion on their privacy, they all complained to Krishna. Narada also added fuel to the fire. Krishna had tolerated a lot of his pranks on his wives before, but this was beyond those. He was mortified to learn that his son had become a nuisance and cursed him to suffer from leprosy. When Samba pleaded innocence and explained it to him, Krishna found it to be true, but was helpless since the curse couldn't be reversed. He suggested Samba, asking him to pray to Lord Surya since he would be the only one who could cure him of the deadly disease. Samba prayed to the sun god for 12 years in the temple he built in Mithravana on the banks of river Chandrabhaga, both the sun temple at Konark and the one are attributed to Samba. As a tradition in the state of Odisha, this day is celebrated as Samba Dashami. On this day, mothers pray to the sun god for the health of their children. After the Mahabharata war ended, Gandhari had lost all her 100 sons. The Pandavas had lost all their 5 sons too. Since Krishna was the one who made it all happen as per Gandhari, she cursed him that he, his city, and all his subjects would be destroyed. Krishna accepted the curse. The curse of Gandhari was fulfilled 36 years after the end of the Great War. Even though the kingdom was prosperous and rich, the youth had become frivolous. One day, a few rishis Vishwamitra, Durvasa, Narada, Vashishta, among others, were visiting Dwarka for an audience with Krishna. Samba, dressed up as a pregnant woman, and along with his friends, asks the rishis to predict the gender of the baby. The sages realized that it's Krishna's son, Samba. Raged on the prank played, sage Vishwamitra cursed. It's not going to be a boy or girl, Samba. It's going to be an iron rod. It's an iron rod that's going to be responsible for the annihilation of Yadavas. Except for Balaram, you all will be slaughtered by the same iron rod that Samba will be giving birth to. You are all so much into pride, lost your senses, you all will die the same way, fully drowned in pride and deprived of senses. The saints left the place and informed about the misconduct of Samba and the curse to Krishna. Krishna, on hearing the words of the sage, recalled the curse of Gandhari. So the curse has started working, Krishna thought to himself, and informed his brother Balaram and other Yadava kings about it. Brother, this is destined and it will happen. I do not wish to act in any other way. I will go by what is destined. Krishna spoke in a distressed voice. In the meantime, Samba and his friends informed everything to King Ugrasena. Everyone spent the night sleepless, thinking about the iron rod. The next day, Samba gave birth to an iron rod as cursed. He brought it to the court. King Ugrasena and others gathered saw it as a messenger of death. Seeing the rod and the fear in everyone's pair of eyes, King Ugrasena spoke, "Get some people and powder this iron rod, cast it into the prowess sea. I don't want even the dust of it to be in the city." Krishna, Balaram and Vabru, who were also present, spoke not a word, for they knew that somehow the curse will find its way and come back to them. Krishna spoke in a concerned voice, "Fate and curse are holding hands with time. Do you think it is possible to stop? One thing about destiny is Ugrasena, that we cannot change it. The curse was for all the Yadava men. We should do something to at least protect the innocent women and children. They will be safe only if the men behave in good way. So we need new and strict rules in the city." A few days later, the iron rod powder washed up onto the seashore and grew into long reeds of areca grass to fulfill its destiny. Later on, the Yadavas are at that same seashore for a pilgrimage when a fight breaks out between them all. Not having any weapons to hand, the Yadavas break off the areca grass, which they discovered was as strong as iron, and use this to kill each other. Thus, the iron bolt destroys the entire Yadavas, including Samba. One larger piece of the bolt was swallowed by a fish. That same fish was caught by a hunter named Jara, who in his past life was Vali in the Ramayana. He removed the iron piece from his catch and, noticing that it had a point and arrowhead-like shape, sharpened it as such and stuck it onto the tip of one of his arrows. The hunter Jara mistook Krishna's partly visible left foot for a deer and shot the arrow. The arrow mortally wounded Krishna, resulting in his departure from the earth. The man who established a new magnificent city for his people, the man who saved the Yadavas from Kamsa, the man who protected the Yadavas like the unbreakable shield, the man who established Dharma on this world, the man who loved his citizen like his family, the man who was loved like no other person by all the Yadavas, the man who brought smiles in the faces of the Yadavas, the one and only Krishna who brought fame to the Yadavas, departed from earth as destined.